I'm not sure. Maybe this guy in that mask with the William Shatner mask over there has an idea. Not quite positive. But let's hear it for our four very important. And the way I like to do these things is I completely realize that nobody in this room gives a crap about my questions. All right? I mean, I have tons, and I'll ask a couple, but you guys have questions that you came here to have answered as well. So I'll ask a couple questions, let them talk about them, and then we'll kick some stuff to you guys, and you can ask the questions that you have. Ken's got a microphone, so when I say, all right, let's go to the crowd, you throw a hand up, we'll get you guys a microphone, you can ask your own questions. All right, because it's not all about me. No matter how much I think it is, it's not. I tell my kids and wife it is. It's not. So thank you again for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you for coming to Connecticut Horror Fest. Let's start it off. Halloween is one of the biggest movie franchises in the world. New editions of the franchise still coming out. How was it for each of you in the beginning? You know, being in a low-budget movie. When did it dawn on you that this was going to be bigger than what you guys and John Carpenter had probably planned? Let's start right to left.
Sometime last week, sure, it was at a convention. It was, within the, originally it came out, it didn't do great right off the bat. Took some good reviews from important reviewers to get people to look at it twice, and then people started to go, hey, this is a thing. So it kind of built by word of mouth. And I don't remember how long it was, but it was, it made more money than any independent feature film at that point in history, which was about 50 million, which doesn't sound like a lot today with every weekend is over 100 million, but back then that was a lot of money. So maybe, 3 or 4 or 5 months afterwards, I would say, and that's when we started getting a picture of the thing. But it wasn't until about 10 years ago, so this is 20 or a little bit more, 2010, that I was aware that there was this kind of fan base. I didn't know that at all. So wow, we've been having fun with that. Yes. So they made a lot of the, whoever they are, by the way. I think some of the promoters here and stuff like that know that you guys like to get together and relive some of these great memories and get together. I know this is like a club almost. Some of you see each other from place to place and con to con, and so I know I've had a great time now over the last whatever it is, 10 years doing it, and it's just a lot of fun. So that's another part. That wasn't your question, by the way.
Hey, listen,
I think I get into merit.
Nancy, how about you? Like, when did it, really hit you that this was, wow, this was getting much bigger than you guys probably thought?
And pretty much the same way. Because the movie was a hit, and we were all very happy about it, and then we just sort of went on with our lives. And for me, that sort of meant taking a really deviant path away from making movies, and I really forgot all about Halloween and that I'd ever even made a movie. Oh yeah, I did a long time ago. One day, I can't quite remember when, but it was certainly in the 2000s. Somebody called me up. I think it was Adrian Barbeau, and said, "Hey, you want to go to a convention and make some money?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "There are people out there that would love to meet you, and they're at these horror conventions." And I said, "What is this?" She said, "Well, you should check it out." She said, "It's really a lot of fun." And based on that recommendation, I showed up. And this was one of the first, maybe not the first convention. The first one I went to, I was in New Jersey, and then I went to Worcester. How do you say it?
That was close to the last one.
Worcester. Yeah. And it didn't take too long for me to realize, oh my God, there's a lot of fans out there for this movie that, you know, and I was just shocked at how people remember the lines from this movie, and you know, they remembered all of these details about the plot, and they knew everything that was going on behind the camera as well as in the front of the camera. And so I really learned a lot from all of you over the years about this movie. I did a long, long time ago. Thank you very much.
Well, ditto Nick and Nancy. And I didn't ever think about that it was a popular movie, really. I mean, I just remember when it first came out, nobody was going to see it, and then I sort of forgot about it, and then I got offered a bunch of really terrible scripts that I didn't want to do and didn't. But I think, once it was recognized, then obviously it was easier to get into casting sections, and it made our lives as actors easier because you had a resume and something to talk about when you went in for a role. And then also, the convention world just, I think, has surprised all of us because you guys really are the ones that are keeping the movie alive. I don't think without you and these conventions it would really have the life at all that it has. They play it every year now at Halloween because the name is Halloween, but I think you're the ones that really have made it this long lasting. And I love the whole family atmosphere. I've seen the grandmothers who come with the daughters with the grandson, and they all watched it, and my grandmother sneakily showed the grandson, and they watched it when they were 6, and now they're bringing their kids. I find that whole family atmosphere about it to be really charming and endearing, and I love it because you guys are all really like a one big Halloween family. So, and it is the greatest, holiday of all. So I think by about July, we start seeing Target displaying things for Halloween, and everyone eats all the candy before October 31st. But in any event, I think this has been fantastic, and the conventions certainly are the reason that this movie was long-standing and has a life of its own now. It's amazing. So thank you.
Yeah, and I always agree, obviously, with everybody the same thing. The thing is, I mean, look around. You guys probably know more than anything that by coming to these, you must see, and you can see today, how crowded, how many people love this film, and that just wasn't really happening 10, 15 years ago. I mean, there was a lot of people, but it's growing because of you and your kids, and like you said, all the same things that everybody said. I mean, it's really you guys that are doing it, and you guys know more than anything what this is about. So it's all you. We're just happy to be here.
I'll do one more before I get some audience stuff. Now, when you're James Cameron, you get an unlimited schedule and unlimited money to shoot a movie, and then you go over budget anyway, and I'm like, oh sure, no problem. Here's another 4500 million, whatever. So this was obviously not a movie of unlimited schedule or unlimited budget. I know sometimes working on tight shooting schedule is hectic. How was that for you guys? And were there a lot of changes on set because of maybe things that couldn't be done with the budget or things that you didn't have time to do? John, start with you. Anything you remember a bit?
Well, again, many of you know this. I've mentioned it a lot. I only worked 3 days.
Okay.
So 3 days, 45 years ago. So I was, and I had to spend a wonderful day with PJ and be killed by Nick. So I mean, there was a lot going on. I don't remember the big changes happening. I don't know that there was for anybody else. But my days just were boom, 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 boom. Bye. So, I don't have any idea about it. But I think there were a lot of changes as far as I know. Nick, you know probably the best.
For me, no, I think everything was mapped out. Particularly, I think Deborah and everything.
Sure, Mike. I have no idea.
In any event, yeah, I think because of the low budget and inflation was still at 21 days and $300,000, although I think $100,000 might take on a pleasant, so it really was 200,000. I think you have to really have that figured out, which you if anything, maybe the scene, better, even though it's taking longer, it wasn't scripted, but I think John was like, do whatever you feel comfortable with. So that was the basis of all the shooting.
Yeah, well, for me, I thought we had a really big budget on Halloween because I had worked on Assault on Precinct 13, and it really was. I don't know. That other movie that John made was Dark Star, when there was like no money.
Oh, Dark Star, they were just pulling, borrowing from their families. That's how much money.
Yeah.
That started off as a student film. Someone saw it, a producer saw it, and said, I'll give you a blank amount of money to make it longer and put it out as a feature. So that's one of my favorite John Carpenter.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Who's seen it?
Dark Star.
Yeah, good. All right, Guy recommends. So I thought we had plenty of money for Halloween, and it was pretty well organized, for sure. And I think it was we got lucky probably a lot. That there were just enough companies that didn't rot before we didn't do anymore.
Well, the other thing is that, it was pretty, as far as the planning that John had to do and the crew had to do, if you think about horror films today, there's always lots of gore, lots of prosthetics, lots of CGI, usually. There was none of that. What?
Blood, which there wasn't blood.
There was no blood. There were just two breasts that they had to put in. That was
Not a prosthetic. Sandy Daylight.
this was
I think we can end on that, frankly. That was great. Like I said, I'm going to kick it to you guys, but I do want to, John or PJ had mentioned. Oh, PJ had mentioned. She can't be here. I'm just thinking of a round of applause for Deborah Hill, who was just a mastermind. We talk about women in horror and women in film. She was way ahead of her time, and just a brilliant person. So respect to her. That's it for me. Let's get some audience questions.
Okay, I'm back here. I got a Michael Myers fan back here. I'm gonna hand it over to him.
Thank you. It's part of me, it's a rather weird and specific question, but I know a lot of us here spend a lot of time and a lot of money trying to figure out how to make sure that we get the most accurate Michael Myers when it comes to, say, the first movie, second, whatever it may be. Nick, if you happen to know or remember or have any clues for us, do you remember what brand or what style of coveralls were in the first movie? So we can get it as close as we can.
We need some cosplay help. Please.
No, I think you might have been the person that asked me at the booth, what do you think the color was of that? Because some people think it's gray, some people think it's blue, some people think it's green. And it depends on the lighting a lot of the time because of the way that Dean Cundy shot it, and the angles and the sheen and things like that. Frankly, I do not remember. The one that asked would be Tommy Wallace.
I think it was green. I think it was green. Dark green.
I was sorry. So I guess that's enough. If I had to sum that up.
All right, I got another question right here.
We're gonna get to the front of the room. Yeah, I got one. I'm gonna take one next time.
Hi guys, awesome being with us today, and I just wanted to, I had a question because you had mentioned family, so it's been a tradition in our family, with my mother, down to her kids, my kids are still, 4, maybe we'll do it next year, but either way, do you guys have a tradition, when's the last time you watched it? And do you watch it every year, or is it just, you don't watch it?
And that's not unusual. I find a lot of actors who I've asked the same question don't watch their films often. I've heard a lot that the first time they rewatched it was when they were showing their children. Their children want to see it, and they're like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen this since I made it." And then they rewatch it, and then usually never watch it again. About fair? Does that sound about fair? Yeah. Great question. We got a guy over here to say.
All right, there's got one up front. Anybody else back here? I'm trying to get people that usually don't get called on back here.
So I won't drone on, but you mentioned Deborah Hill, and I wanted to ask anybody in particular, anyone that wants to answer it, what her presence on set was like, because I've watched a lot of interviews, and John Carpenter, credited her with really filling out the screenplay. He mentioned that in an interview a long time ago. I may be misremembering, but he had mentioned that he, kind of wrote a skeleton script and she filled in a lot of the screenplay and gave her a lot of credit. And I was wondering what her presence may have been like on set, what she was doing from your perspectives. And Mr. Graham, every time I'm watching the film, your death scene may be my favorite, but continuity-wise, the knife, I don't know if you get this question, but the knife sticking out of your chest, the length of the knife compared to the size of your torso, doesn't make much sense, but I was wondering if you get that question ever.
I bring that up all the time. That's one of my favorite things is let's remember that for one thing, I'm holding the knife underneath my arm. Okay, and the next thing is the knife is this long and I'm bigger than that. So how is a person being totally perpendicular, held up by a little kitchen knife? But you know what? It's obviously magic and you forget that. But yeah, it drives me crazy all the time.
So the Deborah Hill
on
question.
Deborah Hill.
It's a movie. Well, I'm pretty sure she's responsible for Totally. She wrote a lot of most of the dialogue for the girls, is what I remember. And certainly she put in those Totally. So everyone credits Linda, but it's really Deborah. So we can thank her for that. As far as seeing her on set, I've said this before many times, that to me it was Deborah and John directing the movie, because there was never John without Deborah whispering something in John's ear. And I always thought they had the sweetest, greatest relationship. And I thought, this is how, if you're a partner, this is how you make a movie. It's awesome, because for me it was a male and a female. So the two two parts of the whole, and they were making this movie together. So I kind of saw it as that. So she just had a wonderful presence about her. And she really was as passionate as Dawn and Dean and everybody that was part of this movie. So it was a very special time. We were all working together and part of it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. I think, in addition to writing and whispering in John's ear a lot on set, being on set, she was producing the movie. So she was wearing a lot of hats. And I do know that she helped over the years a lot of women get their careers moving, getting everyone in the union. And it was harder to get in the union. And she went out of the way to really be an advocate for the union. And she's remembered for that. And she was doing it on Halloween. My friend Louise Jackie got in the union, in the script supervisors union, because of the And today, She's the script supervisor on The Simpsons. On The Simpsons, and she has been since day one.
I'm not good at this.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Well, my question is actually to you to start with. I can't believe I'm asking this kind of always because I need the weed really. And you guys are smoking in the
The weed was not real.
It's not real.
It was not legal in California to smoke dope. So we did.
It's great acting,
I also wanted to ask really quickly, having worked with Doug Carpenter and Deborah Hill, is there anything in their direction that you feel maybe changed you as an actor for the way you looked at acting?
You know what? I learned an awful lot from Janet Lee. And I worked on the clock. She was so gracious and helped me relax. I really never felt very comfortable in front of the camera. I was way too nervous. And she really taught me a lot. So that's where I felt like I could be present while the camera was rolling, which you kind of have to be magical in some capacity. And she helped me. She was so funny and so gracious.
Okay, I got a question from a very young fan who's going to stand up here right now. Come on, buddy. Ask your question.
You got it.
You want me?
You can do it, buddy.
He wants to know how your guys' day was.
Fantastic.
How was your day today? That's what I want to know. How was your day, Nancy?
Awesome.
It was good. Did you get no coffee?
All of these people kept coming up to me, and my autograph, and I never stopped. I didn't have lunch. I didn't go pee. I didn't do anything. No, I had a great time.
We wrote our name 1,000,000 times, and so we could always go to school to learn how to write.
Say that again one more time,
We
BJ.
said we had to write our name 1,000,000 times, so you should always go to school to learn how to write your name and how to read, because then you can come and see the table and sign your name.
And what about you? How was your day?
It was fantastic.
All right.
And that's right now in the car. Thanks for the question.
Good job, and high five. Let's give it up for the guys.
Hi, this is for Nick. After the 78, we came back in 2018. What is it like coming to see Jamie again? Seeing Jamie again?
This is to me for what it was like to come back at the 2018. No, yeah, I did. I don't know if you guys all know this, but I did a cameo in the 2018 holiday where the scene was up in a window, and it's the first time that Jamie sees the shape in the context of the movie. And she looks at it, and goes through a mirror, and it's just a reflection. So that was my scene, but I knew I was going to be on the set. I didn't know when Jamie was going to be there. So they had me come in for about a week because they didn't know exactly how many things I was going to do. But the first day I came in, I went on the set, Jamie was there, and I heard this scream from across the set, and it was her just yelling, "Castle!" And it was like some, love movie in slow motion. We just ran together, gave ourselves a big hug, and she said, "Is this effing crazy?" Because, that was 40 years. What was that? Well, it's 45 now. So it was 30 years ago. And It was absolutely nuts. But I had seen her from time to time over the many years as we were both filmmakers and we would run into each other at studios and things like that. But that was quite a thing. So that was a lot of fun.
It's like PJ and I every time we see each other these days.
All right, we got time for what? 2 more, Larry? Yeah. Okay, so I got one here.
Go ahead, sir.
Hi, this one's for Nick. First off, hi. Second, I learned, as Michael Myers, have you ever met Mike Myers?
The comedian, not Mike Myers' dad, who was Mike Myers. No, I don't know. Mike Senior. No, I have never met Mike Myers. I do appreciate him. He's hilarious. So the answer is no.
Final question we have.
I'm gonna ask one more after this.
All right.
So I have a couple of questions.
If you guys weren't killed off in the original, would you have come back in any sequels?
Yes. Of course.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Well, actually, Nancy did come back on the sequels because she's in part 3. See, she doesn't remember it, but she was just in Season of the Witch.
What about his Andy doing?
She was also in the beginning of part 2, right? When we lifted
She over the rock, yeah.
I come back as a dead body.
I feel like I'm looking I've never done one of these conventions, and this is wild to me. I have watched you guys. You were my first horror movie that my dad showed me. My mom was absolutely not. I lost him very young, and you became like my memory of my dad. And I watch you guys all the time. I've been diagnosed with cancer, and on my worst days, you guys, you especially, Annie, with your sassiness, got me through so much. I'm so glad I was the parkour suite today. We ran out of cupcakes, and that's why I'm here right now. Along with the owner of Bread, we want to do something special for the holiday. I handle the bread in the bakery, is my little branch, and we have dedicated a bread, Halloween bread to you, and it is like, I don't even believe I'm here right now, but we stayed up all night last night making sure we had bread to give each other. And to me, it's just an honor to be here. The fans, you guys are amazing. Thank you for buying all the cupcakes today. Changed my life and gave me comfort in my darkest times. And I know that's kind of weird. I mean, God, I'm sitting here looking at Michael
I'll have some tomorrow as well. All right, so just a real quick for everybody. We'll start with John. Favorite scene in the movie? Doesn't have to include you, but it can. It's my scene. It's the murder. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fancy.
Well, this is kind of boring. My favorite scene is the opening scene.
Okay, no, that's a beautiful scene. One of the best opening scenes in not just horror movie, but in movie history. It's fantastic.
Well, I love Killing Bob because I but I also like, and it's mentioned quite a bit. I like just the small scene of Michael resurrecting in the bedroom.
Yes. That is my favorite scene, and Tide is when Jamie's wrestling his door frame and you just see Michael's face come in the picture. Those two for me are
And I love the titles. The pumpkin.
yes.
When I first saw that, I was like, wow, it's so simple, but so effective.
And that's exactly what makes the movie so amazing, is that it's so simple yet so effective. And those are the kind of movies that resonate, those are the kind of movies that stay with people, and that's why 45 years later, here we are, and here you guys are. So guys, thank you so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate it. Thank you.